Hi, welcome to the Tryforce podcast, where we talk about video games, we talk about movies, anime now, apparently.
Yeah, we're fucking multimedia at this point.
That alone is going to get us copyright.
Watch the show. No.
It's the Tryforce.
And we're back here again. It is another Thursday or Friday, depending on when I edit this.
Self-awareness is key.
Absolutely. You know what? I took a key from the last episode where I'm like, Nicole gave away some of the secret sauce. I may as well give a little more of the secret sauce. Like, you know, we just record this way earlier in the week. Just throw it up whenever we can. So
we're not superheroes.
No, not at all. But you know who is a superhero that we're talking about this evening? It is one Samurai Jack. Man should be a superhero. Man should be a bona fide superhero.
Yeah, I probably could have used Jack's specific expertise today. Actually, my should I tell the story?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that so. My roommates and I we just moved out to Astoria, and we needed a couch, and we were literally eating off of high top tables, tables. And we're like, we need a couch more than anything. So we took a little day and went and got a couch, and it was delivered today. But wouldn't you know it, it only came in 2 parts, and neither of those parts fit through our door.
Oh, no.
So they were like, okay, we're going to get somebody to charge you $200 to divvy it up and cut it up, and I feel like Samurai Jack could have done that shit for free.
Absolutely. You kidding me? With that sword cuts through fucking rock like butter for some reason, like
metal and all sorts of
he's just
complex machinery.
He's just chopping fucking golems in half with this thing.
There's no excuse. There's no substitute for just folded Japanese steel, baby. That's where it's at.
Imbued with 3 of the most powerful gods' energies, which I found out in one of the later episodes. Holy shit, man.
Definitely interesting.
So cool. But this season of Samurai Jack, season 2 was fun. You know, we established more of Jack's character. We kind of got little hokey jokey Jack in that. But this season really digs deep into the lore of Samurai Jack. We find out the origin of Aku, we find out the origin of the sword, and we see the fight between Jack's father, the Emperor, and Aku. And it is so fucking cool, man. It's so cool. This season's so cool.
Yeah, normally when you hit season 3, it's like, okay, normally you're hot off your first season. You've got something to prove with the second season. Second season's make or break. Now you got a third season. Now you've got people that want to hear the story that you're telling. So now you have to ramp things up a little bit, I think.
Yeah. And did they ramp things up? It's so crazy that in every season they take it in a new art direction in one of the episodes. They take it in this crazy fucking art direction in one of the episodes. I don't remember which episode it was, the number of the episode, but the visuals just get prettier and prettier every single episode. And it's just it's so good. This show just keeps improving.
Yeah, and that's why I think in the later times when it was in flux, that was the real rub of it all, when it was not being made for season 5, because it was so good. So let's get into episode 1, our 27th episode overall for Samurai Jack. So, and contrary to popular belief, I love this episode.
I was sitting, his Discord name is Chicken Jack. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh no, it's not Chicken Jack anymore. But
not anymore.
I was like, what the fuck? And he comes out, he's like, yeah, this is my favorite episode. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
It's one of my favorite episodes.
it
Yeah.
turns everything I know about you on his head.
Yeah, I was explaining it to someone. Like an animated chicken, I don't give a shit. Like it's fine. Like I know what I'm doing. It's like got such a human face. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the sound, and I'm not a huge fan of looking at them. The actual animal itself. I don't like their eyes. I don't like their eyes.
They do have soulless, beady eyes.
They're planning something, dude. I'll tell you. But episode 1 is Chicken Jack, which sounds like a really good place to get some fried chicken.
It honestly does. Like, it makes me hungry.
Come on down. Come on down to Chicken Jack's. Jack is transformed into, wait for it, a chicken. After bumping into...
Wait, would it technically be a rooster?
Yeah, it technically would be, I guess. But I guess it's a chicken overall, whether a rooster or a hen, however Chicken Jack chooses to identify. After bumping into a cranky wizard. And now enter my favorite character in this episode, the direct antagonist, a greedy, hedonistic Italian man named Cacciatore.
I didn't even know he had a name.
Cacciatore captures him and forces him to be an underground prize fighter. So this is hilarious.
Chicken. You look like a good chicken.
Yeah, dude, Cacciatore is hilarious, man. And it's so funny because Cacciatore is an Italian dish made with, wait for it, chicken.
Is it? Oh, shit. I love that.
Yeah,
I love
so
that.
A greedy, hedonistic Italian man named Cacciatore captures him and forces him to be an underground prize fighter. Which Jack, being very good at combat, even in chicken form, still has the sauce, still has the marinara.
Catching these fucking hands, man. These absolutely feathery, lightweight hands. Just like
These wings, dude. These wings, bro.
these wings are spicy, man. These are
we got drums and flats.
Oh
No,
man.
and it's so interesting that they introduce even in the recap, Cacciatore as this hedonistic man because all of the money that he's winning with Jack, he's Chicken Jack, he's spending on these exorbitant meals.
Yeah.
And one of the only reasons I remember this episode so well, obviously, is because of the blaringly Italian character. As well as I remember this one like Chicken Jack is in the cage and he's hungry and he's staring at all of this delicious food that Cacciatore is eating. And he's like, "What are you looking at?" He's like, "Oh, I think I know what's going on here." And then he goes over to the lasagna and he starts to cut it and you can see it and it's all like cheesy and delicious. And Chicken Jack thinks he's getting fed. And he takes it, sits back down at his own at his own place at the table and goes, "I forgot a lasagna."
He's like if Wario was a character in fucking in this show.
So good.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's ridiculous. Like he's so
Eventually,
over the top, and I love it.
They eventually bump into the wizard again, and Jack is changed back into a human. While a little bit of dramatic irony, Cacciatore is changed. It can change into a chicken. Jesus, can I get another pass at that? Fuck. Jack is changed back into a human, while Cacciatore is changed into a chicken, a literal chicken Cacciatore this time.
And it's what I really love about Samurai Jack is that it's a very like get to the point show. There's no embellishment, there's no hanging around. It's just get right in and get right out. And I appreciated that with this part because the way they meet up with the wizard again is Cacciatore is invited to like the cockfighting big leagues, so to speak. I know just those words. I know.
The 45th annual Cock of the Walk Championship.
And then we get this mafia character introduced that invites them too.
Of course.
So like they're getting there. He's like all dressed to the nines. He bumps into the wizard, and then the wizard just turns him like they're at the cockfight. By the way, they're there, like they're about to go in, and the wizard turns Cacciatore into a chicken and Jack back into Jack, and then Jack just fucking leaves.
Yeah, I would have entered his ass. I would have entered his ass into that fight.
But he just fucking leaves, and that is the end of that whole fucking plot line, and I love
My
that.
quest continues, bro. My quest continues, man.
But then he goes back to because they make a joke where he was turned into a chicken because he ate a chicken dish, and he like says. They're like, oh, did you have the fish? No, I had the chicken. And that's when he bumped into the wizard and he got turned into a chicken. So he goes back to the stall that he's eating at. And the bartender goes, oh, you're back. So you're going to have the chicken again? He goes, no, no chicken. I mean, I'm sorry. I think I'm going to just try the shrimp this time.
Incredible,
And then
dude.
that's how it ends.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they love
funny.
their ending jokes into the credits are good work for sure.
Yeah. I just love how
All right,
that's how they just left it. They just fucking cut that plot line off immediately. Like in the climax of the plot line, they just ended it. Like,
Yeah.
so
That's
fucking
all they
funny.
needed to tell. That's all the story that they needed to tell for that.
Exactly.
For Chicken Jack. Episode 2, Jack and the Rave. Jack volunteers to rescue an innkeeper's daughter by infiltrating a rave party after witnessing the participants stage a riot.
This
He
is
learns
what-
that the DJ... Oh, shit. What up?
This is the episode that taught our parents to be afraid of ravers. This is the one.
I think everyone should be afraid of ravers, I think.
Sorry, Puma, but like everybody.
There are a
like,
bunch of people. All right. Whoops.
No, I'm just saying, like, this is like, and it's still so prevalent today, like all the shit that they're wearing and all the like the outfits and everything. I'm like, that goes on in 2021. Like, how did that? Was this always a thing? Like,
It's been around, and if you are a filthy raver, you should go and check out Puma Kuma online, get some candy from him.
not drinking that.
Go for it.
Oh man.
He learns that the DJ is one of Aku's servants who has been using his music to hypnotize local youths into becoming his master's slaves.
Love his voice.
So,
by
yeah.
the way, I adore the voice on this man. Like, I don't know who the voice actor is, but he has such a fun voice. And you know what he looks like? You ever play Toe Jam and Earl?
Yeah.
He looks like Toe Jam. Like, and it's so he looks like a really like purple Toe Jam, and I love it. It's just so much fun. And it God, this episode was fun to watch. The visuals were fucking beautiful, by the way. But-
Especially, at this ending part. Yeah, I definitely agree.
And also, can we just get like, if we have a fighting game with Samurai Jack in it come out soon, can we just have Raver Jack as one of the fucking costumes for that?
Has to be a skin. Has to be a skin.
Just his striped
Jackie the Blade
Dimmadome-
skin.
Jackie the Blade, yes, his striped Dimmadome
Jackie the Blade
hat.
skin. Raver Jack.
The fucking
Yeah, we gotta get it
pacifier
all.
thing. The pacifier killed me because every time there was a dramatic part of the episode, it's like every time he's like looking around, just
It's so good. And I learned from a friend at the time. This could be complete hearsay. This could be fucking garbage. I don't know. But apparently people at raves use pacifiers in order to not swallow their own tongue due to drug use. So I thought that was a little interesting homage.
any ravers in the chat, you want to like give a
Please,
Yeah, I'm not streaming right now, but like any ravers
in the chat. In the hypothetical chat out
somehow
there. if you
Puma
could
will
please.
find it. Somehow Puma will just know.
Right.
Oh man.
So the DJ combines his sound equipment into a robot exoskeleton, which Jack destroys, freeing the youths.
Yeah, that was a really cool design. I love the sound Voltron. Like, it was so cool. Like the controls was like the DJ turntable, and like, oh god, it was so cool looking. And yeah, obviously Jack does his thing. You know, he's just out there fighting in fucking jeans, and like it's just. He's fighting in jeans and it looks like a rainbow monkey backpack, like from the Powerpuff Girls. Like,
Also very round and super chunky, bro.
absolutely. So.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
Oh, sorry. Rainbow Monkeys is Codename Kids Next Door.
It is.
Yeah, sorry about
That is correct.
But yeah, it's just the most ridiculous outfit I've ever seen Jack wear, and he's just out there fighting this fucking toe jam DJ. And you know, if there was a more Samurai Jack scene, it's this. Like, it's just so good.
Yeah.
And at the end of the episode, just the spell is broken. All of these youths are hypnotized, and Jack goes, "Now go home and don't never dance to this evil music again." And I just thought that was a funny line.
Wild.
You know?
Yeah, odd of them to do a footloose in the middle of this.
It was weird.
Definitely
Wasn't
strange.
it? It's so weird. But then they have a really, really touching scene where the innkeeper's father and the innkeeper's daughter actually reunite, and they're just like hugging and crying in the middle of the inn. And I'm just like, oh, and you just see Jack just walking off into the moonlit night.
Yeah.
Like,
Just a wandering do-gooder, bro.
it's so good. It's so pure. That's what I love about this. It's just so pure and righteous.
It does feel like Jack is kind of leaving the world better than he found it.
Yeah, and that's his whole point.
Everywhere he goes. All right, episode 3, Couple on a Train, which is, it sounds like it is the only context of the episode, but I promise it's just a small part of it. Jack boards a train to his next destination, only to be pursued by maybe one of the coolest names ever, Ezekiel Clench, a bounty hunter armed with multi-purpose mechanical hands.
They call me
and his
Easy Clinch.
ex-wife, Easy Clench.
Easy Clinch.
Oh my god. I want to die. I want to die. A bounty hunter armed with multi-purpose mechanical hands and his ex-wife, Josephine. They battle on the train until the Clenches capture Jack, but Josephine shoves Ezekiel off the train to claim Jack's bounty for herself, prompting Jack to use the chains, I guess, that they're trying to use to capture him, to send her falling off the train as well.
Yeah, they're just like Old West style, like, bandits. Like, this is an Old West style bandit and this Old West style, like, femme fatale character. And
like a Bonnie and Clyde
yeah,
kind of.
like a very Bonnie and Clyde kind of thing. And it was just a really fun fight all the way around. You know, the whole episode was just a fight scene, and it was so fun to watch. There's really nothing to unpack in this one. It's just straightforward. This was the animators having a real fun time with two very awesomely designed characters. And the ending was cute, you know, like they had a lot of jokes where like, it was really funny where the Ezekiel Clench, Josephine shows up and he goes, you know, the court ordered you 150 feet away from me, woman, 150 feet. and then at the end, like they have Jack captured, they have him tied up. And Jack kind of like with his feet kind of wraps the chains around Ezekiel's feet and also around Josephine's feet because he knows he's about to get kicked off the thing. So she kicks Ezekiel off. And she's like trying to like get back in his good graces, you know, like, oh, I don't know why I ever broke up with you. Did like that shit like that. And then she pushes him off and she's just like, he's on the way down, just cursing her out the whole time. So funny. And then, like just Yosemite Sam-esque, it was amazing. And then he wraps, the chain around Josephine's leg right before it leaves. And then he's pulled onto his sword, freeing him, and then the chains pull Josephine down also. And then they're both hanging by the train bridge, like by the hooks. And Ezekiel goes, 150 feet!
Yeah, man. Yeah. They even made you like the villains in this show. They even made you like the villains in this show.
And then that was the ending joke of the episode. And I was laughing so hard. I thought that was so fucking funny.
Episode 4, Jack and the Zombies. Aku tricks Jack into entering a cursed graveyard and summons an army of undead warriors. Jack defeats them, but a ghostly hag steals Jack's sword and brings it to Aku, who tries to kill Jack using it.
Mm-hmm. This was a great fight. Like, yeah, that's pretty much the whole episode. Like, that's...
Oh, not exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not exactly, because we learned something very important about the sword in this episode.
Yes, we do.
As he is about to stab the samurai, Aku discovers that Jack's sword, which cannot be used for evil, can't harm Jack, who takes the sword back and forces Aku into retreat.
Yes. So the sword is it's a pure weapon of righteousness, and anybody who wields it for evil cannot use it. Like it becomes entirely useless in the hands of somebody wielding it for evil purposes. And I think that's so cool. Like, we get this crazy fight scene between Jack and Aku, and we see Aku change into these amazing creatures. We see him change into a dragon. We see him change into a fucking scorpion with the sword as his tail. Like, oh my God. And like, Jack is fighting through a horde of zombies the whole time, just taking their weapons and using them against Aku. And it's just such an amazing fight scene. If you want to go watch some fucking unbelievable fight choreography, this is the episode to watch. And then we get Jack kind of like, he's beaten, he's broken. Like, the craziest thing I was thinking about this whole season is Jack gets defeated quite often. You know what I mean?
Quite a lot.
Like, he's
More
never
often
like,
than you'd expect.
yeah, he's like, he's never like this come from behind always, oh, haha, it was my design this whole time. No, he gets the shit kicked out of him all the time. You know what I mean?
All the time.
Like, and
It's supposed to be like a wearying journey. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be hard.
yeah, so it's just like, and then Aku slams him down into the ground after engulfing the entire landscape to catch this motherfucker, slams him down into the ground, and takes the sword, and then he stabs it into his chest. He goes to stab it into his chest, and it stops right at his chest. And this, it's not supposed to be funny, but it was really funny to me. Like, the second it, like, clinks against his chest, it just zooms in on Aku's face. His eyes get a little smaller, and the flame eyebrows go out. Like, it just... and then he just, like, ting, 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 ting. Why is this not working?
That's so good.
Yeah,
That's really good.
I thought that was
The
really
eyebrows
funny.
going out is hilarious.
It's really
Yeah.
funny.
It's literally taking the wind out of him, really. Yeah.
And then we get that scene.
Yeah, just a
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry to cut you off. We get that speech where we find out about the sword, and then he cuts Aku in half, and then Aku turns into a rat, fittingly, and he scurries away. So, yeah.
Yeah, and after transforming into all those cool and majestic creatures, like you were saying, like it showcases that he is, now cowardly, running away.
Yeah.
Rat's not exactly held in high regard.
Of course. Like a prey animal,
All right.
he becomes.
Episode 5, Jack and the Scarab.
Oh, this
I bet you
episode
can't.
was so cool.
I bet you can't wonder where this is set. Aku summons 3 immortal servants of the Egyptian god Set to destroy Jack while he travels through Egypt.
This is where we get
So
like the
Set-
mythology of like, we get mythology in this season. We get a lot of fucking mythology, and it is so cool to see Jack interact with this shit. I'm sorry. I'm like nerding out here.
No, it's all good. I was just looking up Set. So Set was a god of desert storms and disorder and violence.
Yeah, he's the Egyptian god of
has
discord.
Yes. So he is said to have I believe a crocodile's head. Yes. So I believe the Set villains looked very similar. They were like crocodile-like,
Weirdly,
if I remember correctly.
yeah, they had like crocodile faces, but they had wolf noises for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
What can you do?
Yeah, whatever.
What can you do? It was a stylized choice. To destroy them, Jack must assemble a golden scarab using clues from his time as a young boy.
Yeah.
So that is all that they have for this episode, actually. So if you want to fill
Really?
in any
Yeah.
love, anything else that happens, please feel free.
Absolutely. There's so much that happened in this episode. It was like the whole thing was he couldn't defeat the minions of Set. He admitted that himself. He's like, these are by far the most powerful opponents I have ever faced. There is nothing I can do against them. So like he would cut their arms off, and their arms would just regenerate, and their swords would just appear back on them. Like they're gods.
God.
They're literal godly creatures. So they were chasing Jack all around, and he basically had to, like, it starts with a flashback of him and his two Egyptian friends when they were younger. They were just playing around, being kids, and they wandered into the Hall of Anubis. And that you see all of these you see all the Egyptian gods, you see all the statues, you see all the hieroglyphs, and you see all the lore. Like you see all this stuff that, you know, tells of the stories of Set and Anubis, Ra, and all the other gods. So Jack wanders in. He's like, why is this place so familiar? And that's when he encounters the minions of Set. And he knows them right away. So he's like, oh, fuck. So he's like running around. All he can do is defend. That is all he can do. So he's basically trying to solve the puzzle of how to seal the minions of Set while defending against all three minions of Set. Like, yeah, it's
Love it.
amazing. So he's reading
Yeah,
hieroglyphs.
way to put this pop quiz under pressure. That's all I had to say.
Oh yeah. So he's got to find three bits of a golden scarab, and he finds one at the statue of Set. Yeah. Wait. Hold on. Wait. Yes, he does. He finds one at the statue of Set, and he goes to the throne of evil, which is the Set statue, and he finds out that the next scarab piece is by a sea of reeds. So he goes to the sea of reeds, and he gets the head. He combines all three, and then the scarab flies away, and they're all just looking at the sky like, huh? And then the minions turn back to Jack, and they're about to go just fucking eat him, you know? And then all of a sudden,
Get it over with.
absolutely, a giant heavenly light bathes the entire temple. And this god comes down, presumably Ra comes down. And Ra's the one with the eagle face, right?
Ra has a
Like the bird face.
It's got, yeah, I believe it's a hawk, if I remember correctly.
So yeah, then that was Ra. Ra literally
Falcon. Yeah, falcon head. Yeah, Ra.
Ra literally comes down and just vaporizes every single one. And the fucking visuals are so nice. Like they're just so cool. And just like, the sound design in this episode too, I just kind of want to gush about. Obviously, I can't really recreate them. I'm not that talented. But like, you know.
No, we don't expect you to. I don't think.
But it was just such a cool sound and just such an amazing atmospheric episode. And then it's really funny because Jack goes up to Jack literally climbs a giant pillar, looking Ra directly in the face. Ra's like a 10-foot creature, you know, or a 10-story creature, you know, just an absolutely massive entity on this planet. And he just looks over and goes, "Thank you for saving me from the minions of Set." And then he's just staring wordlessly at him. He's like, "You wouldn't happen to know about time travel, would you?" And then wordlessly, it's just a shot of Ra ascending to the heavens. And he just goes, "I guess not."
Yeah, Jack really got blue balled on that.
Oh yeah,
Really
and then my quest continues, and then that's the end of the episode.
My quest continues. All right, episode 6, Jack and the Traveling Creatures.
Oh my god, this episode made me feel so warm and fuzzy inside at the end, and it just like, you know, have you ever watched something where you're just like at the credits, you're just smiling, just not even laughing.
Content.
Yeah, just like really satisfied with the end of it. You know?
Sometimes on the good stuff for sure.
Yeah, no, this was
Recognized as a mighty warrior, Jack is guided to a mysterious portal capable of returning him to the past. However, he learns that only one man can use the portal, the man who defeats its legendary, unbeatable guardian.
Wait, what? I think you might have skipped an episode.
No, Jack and the Scarab, Jack and the Traveling Creatures.
Jack and the Traveling Creatures. This is that one?
Recognized as a mighty warrior, Jack is guided to a mysterious portal capable of returning him to the past. However, he learns that only one man can use the portal, the man who defeats its legendary, unbeatable guardian. The guardian defeats Jack, but spares him, prophesizing that Jack is not yet ready.
Was that all in the same fucking That's the whole episode?
Yeah.
I think that's incorrect. I really do think that's incorrect. What is the
Wikipedia?
Yeah,
Wikipedia. Get your shit together, Wikipedia.
Might be incorrect. Because that definitely shouldn't be traveling creatures. He did no traveling with no creatures in that episode, but he did in another one.
I guess so.
But yeah, no, it was a great episode. That was a really cool episode too. You know, you just get this guardian that. Oh yeah, you know what he sounds like? Oh man, who's the fucking? Did you ever watch Penguins of Madagascar? This is gonna sound weird. I don't know.
The dumbest question.
I know.
No, I did not.
You did not.
Considering it is a children's show that was made in the recent years.
No, it wasn't. We were children. We were children.
No way.
All right. Let's see.
What are you defining as children?
Like
and
15?
I will let you know that. No way. Not a snowball's chance in hell. Not a snowball's chance in hell was the Penguins of Madagascar show out at that time. I'm willing to stake my life on this.
All right, I'm trying to remember who else had this voice. You know what? Why don't I just fucking look it up? Let's see.
The film was in 2014, so you're already wrong.
Oh,
the
really?
TV series started in 2008. So you've got me a little bit more than I thought you did, but definitely no way.
Oh, really? Oh, it was Kevin Michael Richardson. Kevin Michael Richardson does the voice.
Yeah. He was in last season as the Cajun bounty hunters.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah, so
okay. We would have technically could have been 15 while the show was out, so I will tip my hat to you, sir.
Yeah.
Fine.
So so he's guarding this portal, and Jack is like, yeah, can I go through the portal? And he's like, no. Jack's like, why? And he's just like, because there's one man that can use this portal, and you're not it. And then Jack's just like, he says something really kind of sobering, and I really, really appreciate it. He's just like, you know, just once I was hoping to resolve a conflict without a physical altercation. Just once in my entire journey, I was hoping to not have to fight for my way through. I see now that that's impossible. So I am going to beat you.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn,
I was like,
bro.
oh no. So he takes out his sword, and then the guard's like, oh, you're going old school on me. I got me one of those. And then he pulls out a katana also. And they have an awesome fucking duel. Yeah, it was so cool. So cool. Hey, what a great episode.
But beats him, but spares his life, and saying that he's not yet ready to go through the portal.
Yeah. And then we get a vision of Jack with like we see him with like a crown on, and he's like completely tattered, battle scarred. He's got a crown on, and his sword's in the he's got a beard, and his sword's in the dirt, and he's just like, you're not ready, samurai. Not yet. And I'm like, oh yeah.
I love him. He sounds great. I might rewatch that episode.
Yeah.
Episode 7, Jack and the Annoying Creature.
Oh, yeah, this is the one I was thinking of.
Yes. While continuing on his mission, Jack is followed by an overtly friendly creature who accidentally thwarts his every move despite good intentions.
This is my neighbor
It makes
Totoro in Samurai Jack. This is the whole joke. He looks like Totoro. He acts like Totoro. Like, it's just ridiculous.
That's adorable.
It is adorable.
To make matters worse, Jack is being attacked by robotic bounty hunters the entire time.
I mean, like, come on, it's pretty par for the course, you know.
Unfucking real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's the
I
whole
mean, I'm
episode
sure
description?
Gendy. Yeah, that's it. I'm sure Gendy Tartakovsky maybe was a Miyazaki fan. It's entirely possible given the timelines.
100%. Like, they get
You
this
know?
really cute exchange. Like, this is a really fun episode. And it's really strange to hear, but like the sounds that this creature makes, like it laughs while it goes back and forth, but the laugh is like a sound effect from Ed, Edd n Eddy. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's just like the,
Really?
it's like the, like that. I don't know how to describe it, how to do it. Like, you know, not even that. Like, it's like when Ed's like staring off into the distance, like, oh, like, I don't know how to do it, but like, I'm trying so hard.
Look, man, Cartoon Network just has one Foley board, like a single Foley board, and that is it.
They have like one of those shitty soundboard websites. But like,
Exactly.
yeah, so it was really funny to hear that. And this creature just decides Jack is its friend. And it's just like, okay, I'm going to do what I can to help. And he doesn't help. He's not great, but he's adorable and he's hilarious. And then at the end, you know, Jack is getting beaten up by these bounty hunters. These bounty hunters would have won if this creature wasn't there. So, like, and I don't know what the choice was in design for these bounty hunters, by the way. Like, they're just like 1950s rockabilly teenagers, and it was so weird.
Oh my God.
I know, it was weird, but they're robots. It was so fucking weird.
They're all gonna go play jacks down at the soda fountain after this.
Absolutely. And like, it was just playing like 50s, like a 50s pop song, like whatever. Well, I don't fucking know, but like,
Oh yeah, I can see they're all like greasers.
yeah, like the pink
Oh
and
my
black,
God.
like, yeah, it's just ridiculous. So
This is Totoro. Like, I just looked at the creature. Like, this
Yeah.
is in essence it's Totoro. Like,
absolutely. But they
it's
see
funny, man.
this creature sees Jack getting beaten the shit out of, and he goes into a blind rage. Like, he turns into this giant feral wildebeest type creature and just murders all four of those bounty hunters with no effort at all. And then Jack is on the ground. He's like, Jack is so mad at this thing prior to this. So he's like, oh no, my friend's dead. So he's like crying next to Jack. And then Jack gets up and he's just like, oh my God, this thing murdered all of these guys and came to see if I was okay. So Jack just assures him that he's okay. And then the creature hugs him, like squeezes him. He's just like really happy to see him. And Jack's like, I think I see a village over the horizon. Maybe we could get a nice hot meal and a place to rest.
Oh,
And then the
so
thing just like on its little stumpy feet, just like is running up and just running ahead. And then he turns back to see if Jack is following him. And then he just like sees Jack's following him and he just does a little dance. And then the fucking thing ends. I'm just like, it was so fucking cute, man. It was such a cute episode.
Is this the one you were very satisfied with?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay.
This is the one.
I figured.
It made
All
my
right.
heart feel warm.
Got it. Episode 8, Jack and the Swamp Wizard. Jack meets a swamp hermit who guides him to the 3 gems of Cronus, artifacts which are said to have can take him home. But say it with me now: the hermit is Aku in disguise.
Oh man, you'd think a mysterious wizard would tip Jack off at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
just ridiculous. Mysterious wizard
he's
in the
playing
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, bullshit. All right, sure
Literal,
thing, buddy.
that's the description of Aku. Like, oh man.
He's playing the boy who cried mystical wizard here at this point. Like, I mean,
Honestly.
it's like, I have been given great power to assist your journey. Yeah, buddy. You and 3 other people today. Thank you. Move on.
Yeah, for real. But at the same time, he goes along with it for a very specific reason. Then remember, this is season 3, Jack. This is not season 1, Jack. So Jack's been through the ringer. So he goes along with it. Is that the end of the episode description?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, the episode goes along as planned. We think that Jack is just like falling for it again. It's just like, oh yeah, he's gonna get duped at the end. We see Aku's reflection in the water when we see the wizard supposed to be casting a reflection into the water, and it's Aku. So they're trying to gather all these artifacts of Kronos to get Jack home. So yeah, like air quotes. But like what happens is when they assemble all the pieces, Kronos, the spirit of Kronos, inhabits all the pieces, and Aku casts the spell on Kronos and orders Kronos to defeat Jack.
Classic. Incredible.
Jack
Wow.
is
What a shock.
Jack's a little prepared. He's a little prepared for that. So he's very like he's very not phased, very not shocked by that. And even Aku was like, "Wait, what?" You know? So he's like, "Why is this not doing as much damage as I thought it would?" And then Jack holds up the eye of Kronos that he stole out of the helmet, which is
nice.
It's a diamond that's in the helmet. And all of a sudden, the Kronos spirit falls apart, and Jack's just fighting Aku regularly. And then Aku tries to wear the gloves and the helmet of Kronos, and he's like, "Let's see how your enchanted blade does against the wrath of the Titans." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." Cuts through it like fucking...
Kronos is a Greek titan.
Yeah,
true.
So cuts through it like butter, and Aku's like, "What the fuck?" So like he just obviously he retreats, he's cut into the water, turns into a frog, and he goes away. You know, just
incredible.
Tiny creature flies away. So Jack says a really cool one-liner at the end. He goes, "Run, you cowardly creature, because you know your defeat's imminent. It's only a matter of time." And he holds the diamond up to the screen. Yeah. Oh god, I was like, yes.
And which makes sense. Because Cronus is the Titan of time.
Yes.
So pretty cool.
And they explain that whole thing throughout the episode, which is cool. So
Episode 9, Jack and the Haunted House. Jack encounters a haunted house in his travels and must free the family trapped inside from the evil spirit haunting them.
This is the one with the crazy art direction that I was talking about. It's just like pretty much sketch work for most of the episode, and it's really
cool.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. Like sketch art and flashing, like really loud flashing lights, and it's really horrible imagery too. Like they're just Jack's just going with this girl through the house, and the house is changing as they move through it. And they sit down at the table with what they believe to be her brother and her parents, and all of a sudden, like they're being asked questions. Like they're supposed to be from Japan, so they're talking about Japan and they're talking about history. And then the boy, like the brother's eyes just roll back into his head, and his mouth starts foaming, and the wife starts shriveling up, and same thing happens. And then the husband's just like, "I guess they're just not feeling well." And then he starts with it too, and they just start melting in front of his eyes, and it's just such a gruesome, horrible scene. And then it melts into pure white. We get that sketch, we get the sketch shots, and we get this whole, it looks like a storyboard art of the fight between Jack and this demon. And then obviously Jack wins, and his soul is transferred back into his body. And he wakes up next to the little girl, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're alive." And he goes, "Yes, I was able to defeat the demon inhabiting this house, but I was not able to save your family. I'm so sorry." And as quickly as he says that, her family comes around the corner, and they reunite, and it's a happy ending, and it's a beautiful ending to an episode.
You know, I love when a series can do that, when they can kind of like drop, like here's a resolution to this. Here is a way this can end, and then they give an even better case scenario.
Yeah.
You know, I really do like that. It's kind of like it's like being the rug being pulled out from under you, but in a positive way, right? So yeah, I mean, I think for an episode like this, it's weighs more heavily on, you know, the direction and the tension and the suspense that you can build, because you know it's a haunted house episode.
Yeah.
Right. Episode 10, Jack, the Monks, and the Ancient Master's Son.
This was so fucking cool. I'm going to do that a lot from now on. I'm going to do that from now on.
I had a thought the other day. I was wondering if I ever had the time, I would go through every podcast and see how very many so fucking cools are actually there.
Yeah, a lot.
It would be like climbing Everest.
Yeah.
Be like, no, go back. I missed one.
No, but I mean that in the most genuine way. This was such a cool episode to watch. And like, oh man, it's another one of those feel good episodes. Jack's a fucking moron. I'm going to just say it at the end of this episode. I'm just going to say, let me see if you figure out why he's a fucking moron before I explain it. But this episode was really cool, really nice for Jack. You know, it's kind of like a piece of home that's endured all this time throughout thousands and thousands of years. So it's kind of like his going back to the air temple moment in Avatar, you know, which is really cool.
Jack is attacked by two monks who he realizes are members of the order that he once trained with. Their master informs Jack of an ancient temple that can send him home, but which is protected by an army of stone warriors.
Yes. This is what I was talking about before.
It's gotta be weird.
Oh, so sorry. This is what I was talking about before with the sword just cutting through stone like it was fucking butter. Crazy sauce. But like the episode opens up where he just meets these two Shaolin monks and he's just throwing their own moves back at him. And they're like, "How the fuck do you know these moves? What do you mean you know these moves?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, watch this. I know this too. I know this. I know this." And he's like, "How the fuck do you know that?" Like, so they're just talking and they're just posing at each other pretty much. And they're like, if you know everything, if you know all of this, you must know the secret sign of our order. And he just goes like this. And they just go like that. And the tension just sucked out of the room. And they're just like, "Brother." And I'm like, ah. So they take it. Yeah, it's just Shaolin monks, like actual Shaolin monks that have endured.
You don't expect an aspect of Jack's past to still be in this world.
Exactly.
So considering that the whole fucking series is about him going back to the past and going back to what his culture used to be like and the time period, and here's people, here's people whatever year we're in.
They're not like they're not the Japanese culture, but he trained with the Shaolin monks, and which was crazy. So he goes through the whole thing. He goes through the whole temple. He sees them punching the sand, doing the reed training. Like, oh my god, the traditional Shaolin shit. And he's taken to the Grand Master of the Shaolin, and he goes, "Greetings, Grand Master. I am a student of Master Shu." And the Grand Master goes, "I too was a student of Master Shu. I actually met you when you came to train with us."
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's like, "I was but a boy at the time." So apparently the whole thing with the Shaolin is their temple was destroyed by Aku, but they set up a new temple in secret and kept it hidden from Aku this whole time, which is crazy.
Classic.
Secret Shaolin temple, man. So
classic.
Absolutely. So this particular Shaolin monk had ascended so far that his chi became one with nature, and he is now an immortal presence.
Let's go.
Yeah, he's completely
Damn.
immobile, but he is an avatar of wisdom. And he can see and sense the earth. He's an extremely magical being. He can't move, but he can, communicate and, give unbelievable wisdom. So he's like, yeah, no. So Aku can't reach you here. If you were to ever need to come back here and, regroup, you are more than welcome. Aku can't touch you here. So it's so
Useful.
cool. Yeah, and
Useful.
the first thing he was worried about when he got in, he's like, oh my God, Aku can see me everywhere I go. I've doomed you all. And I thought that was, awesome.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then we get a really funny shot once it's revealed that Aku can't see him. It's just Aku in his chamber. You know how he has like the screen behind the fire, like not a screen, but like the fire opens up and you can see Jack. It's just static, and he's just like tink tink, he's just banging on it. So,
like it's cable
like
TV.
it's a CRT TV.
Unbelievable.
So fucking funny. But
Great.
yeah, I love little jokes like that. But yeah, so they climb up this huge mountain, and they're just fighting off these stone golems. And the two Shaolin monks that were up there escorting him up there take him to the top of the mountain. And the portal that takes him back in time only works when the sun is at its zenith. And that is like moments. That's only for a few moments. So Jack gets to the top of the tower, and these monks are getting the shit kicked out of them. Like it's two monks against an army of stone golems. Like that's crazy.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Jack is like turning around, like, oh my God, I have to help them. I have to. Yeah, everything in my body is screaming at me to help these men. So he's running towards the portal, and he's looking back. He keeps running towards the portal. We see an exterior shot where the portal vanishes, and the monks go, he's free. Now we can die knowing that our purpose has been filled. And Jack explodes out of the cave and wipes out the golems and has a conversation with them. Like, he's like, you were supposed to go. What happened? You were supposed to go. He's like, I couldn't leave you behind. So
good guy,
a good guy,
but
Jack. A fucking moron. Do you know why I say that?
Look, man, it's about honor. It's not.
I know it's about honor, but I'll tell you what I mean.
It's not the first time Jack's done this. No, though. He did this last season as well.
But it didn't dawn on me now, because if he's going back in time to change the entire world, he's going back to kill Aku. That event would have never happened. You know what I mean?
The event of him fighting with these men to go back in time? The event of the monks
would have never happened. And therefore, they would have never been in any danger to begin with.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So what's your theory? What's your theory that he should have done it and
he should have went through
everything?
The portal, changed everything, and the monks would have never been in danger at all. They never would have been put in that situation.
But then Jack would likely feel remorse on living the rest of his life at the expense of the lives of these two men. Like,
yeah, and now something else dawned on me. There's no guarantee that Jack would have won.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, I think that he made, I don't know if he made the right move, but he moved in a way that he felt was right.
Then that's the right move. That's the right move in this situation, because, and I'm also thinking about it as, you're just like, if you're in the future and you're going back to the past, everything you do at this point is completely not time sensitive.
Yeah.
You could just spend as much time as you can there. You're just level grinding for the final boss at this point. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I guess it's a good way to look at it. I rescind my statement. Jack is not an idiot.
Episode 11 and 12. The Birth of Evil.
Yeah.
So this is an hour-long episode that deals with the following topics, and I'll just throw it all out there because it's just 2 sentences. Have a little fun fact, and then we can chew on it. All right.
Let's do it.
So, centuries ago, the demon Aku is accidentally released by Jack's father, who receives a magic sword from the gods. So, long ago, in a distant land, Aku, the shape-shifting master of darkness, unleashes an unspeakable evil. But Jack's father receives a magic sword from the gods. I believe the Egyptian god is Thoth, the Norse god is Odin, and the Indian god of Rama, the Hindu god Rama, all give him the magic sword. Eventually, Jack's father uses this very same sword to imprison Aku beneath the earth. This hour-long episode won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Animated Program.
Yeah, as it fucking should have. Oh my god. I mean, we see that Aku, what we get from this episode is that Aku is like an ancient evil. Like, when they say he's the avatar of evil, like, that's a literal statement. Literally.
Dude's got like a CEO of evil.
Yeah, like, it took 3 gods to take him out, and they couldn't even fully wipe him out, which is crazy. So, like, they're fighting him in space, and there's this giant, massive blob of Aku. I don't know if he's called Aku. I don't know, right? It's fucking... What else am I going to say?
Massive blob. It's the way you said Aku, too, bro.
Aku. So, like,
Aku, there's a blob of Aku goo out in the stratosphere.
Agu, if you will.
Agu.
But yeah, so that's taking place, and they're just having this cool fight sequence, and this little sliver of Aku, like, when you remember when Jack cuts Aku and he's got like that burn effect on him, like all of these little pieces that the gods are cutting away have the burn effect, and then all of a sudden it just burns out into nothing. This one little sliver has the burn effect, but then all of a sudden the burning goes out and the sliver is still there, and it just goes hurtling away from the whole scuffle. And then the rest of it is just wiped out, completely destroyed. And this this is so stupid. So in the world of Samurai Jack, when Aku hurtles towards Earth, he hits Earth with a giant force enough to wipe out the dinosaurs. We just see a bunch of like, brachiosaurs, and they're just like, it's just the Aku Tower. It's so stupid, but like
this is Horizon Zero Dawn. That is the plot line of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Pretty much,
right there.
Yeah. So like that's
my
it.
God.
That's what happens. So then we see like the evolution of man, and we see the evolution of the tower, and we see all of these primitive like people get sucked into the muck and the tar that is surrounding Aku's tower at all times. And it just spreads and spreads and spreads. And then we get into feudal Japan, where we see this forest that these villagers are in, and the tendrils are kind of creeping up into the forest. And this one villager is like looking for, I think, his pet. I don't remember what it was, but and we see the leash of the pet in the tar. And like he just has a breakdown because obviously he just lost his pet. But like we see, once you go into the forest, it's just this massive structure of tendrils and creeping vines and just this black inky darkness, and it's just about to envelop everything around it. And that's when we get the shot of Jack's father, the emperor, telling his family, like, I have to take care of this as emperor. This is my responsibility, so I have to protect my people. So they go out and they try and fight Aku. Well, they don't really, I don't think they know it's Aku at this point. They think it's just this weird crazy demon. Well, is Aku not just a weird crazy demon?
Check.
Yeah. So they give him this elixir that's supposed to dispel the evil, and they fight through all these hordes, and they get to the tar pit, and he shoots an enchanted arrow into the tar pit, and that's what kind of awakens Aku. And what Aku does is he takes, this is the cruelest fucking thing I've ever seen in a cartoon, ever, by far. So he wipes out the army, by the way, wipes it out completely, and spares the emperor, and takes the emperor, drags him into the tar pit, and all of a sudden he surfaces on a rock, and he's pinned to the rock by his arms. And he's like, now you will witness the power of Aku. He goes to the town and wipes it out and makes him watch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah.
It's classic. The making them watch. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So a villain standard, a villain standard.
Yeah.
For sure.
So,
damn,
and that's the end of the first episode. Like,
right. Episode in quotes, right?
Yeah.
Because this is
Well, it's episode 11.
long.
Yeah. And then episode 12 comes along, and he's visited by this giant white horse. And this white horse, presumed to be Zeus's horse, by the way.
Is Zeus one of the gods?
Not Zeus. Sorry, Odin. Odin. Odin.
Yeah, Odin's horse Sleipnir, who
yes.
is his niece, nephew, something, I believe, because it's Loki's kid. It's a horse with 8 legs or something like that.
Well, this one had the 4, but it was made of like white puffy clouds.
Cowards.
Yeah, it was
cowards.
I know, right? But we see him taken up to these 3 monks, and then behind the monks are the 3 gods. And like, it was just so fucking cool. And another one, check it off. I don't care. Just, we get the scene where he's just like, yeah, the Aku has to be vanquished by human righteousness. And they pull the righteousness out of the emperor. And it's just this glowing orb. And then the monks take out these giant hammers and start hammering away at it. And the gods are just shooting eye beams at it for some fucking reason. And they're just forging and forging and forging. And all of a sudden the sword starts to take shape. And then a blaring flash of light, and the sword is there. And then the sword floats over to the emperor. And he gets the command to kill Aku. And then all of a sudden a flash of white happens. And his armor comes back, glowing, white, just a radiant being. And then he gets sent back to Earth, standing atop a flying nimbus cloud.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. So he flies to Aku, and Aku's laughing. He's like, your mortal weapons can't harm me. So I just takes a fucking chunk right out of Aku. And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Wait a minute.
Like, hold the fuck up. So they start having this battle, and Aku is changing into some cool fucking creatures again. He does this shapeshifter stuff. But the creatures specifically he turns into are really cool. Like, they're not actual animals. They're just like abominations. Like, which is really interesting to watch and really creative. So Aku is just getting chopped away at. Like, he's not having a great time. So he decides his only course of action at this point is to go onto the ground, split himself up into a bunch of different forms, and then all of a sudden this Aku shadow goop starts to take the form of all of the Emperor's army.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Fuck, I remember this.
And then he has to fight the armor and the weapons of all of his army at once. And guess what he fucking does? He does it. Oh my God, what an amazing fight sequence. And Aku does the thing where, like, he's one of the soldiers and he runs away. So he's like, no. So he takes the sword and just throws it through Aku, and he's just sucked into the blade, and he casts the sword into the ground, and Aku is cast into the ground, and the Aku tower comes up, but it's completely inert and completely, like, stationary, I guess. Inert was the good word. And then
it was.
Then he hears a baby crying in the distance, and he looks over at the ruins of his tower, and he sees his wife and his son, Jack. Perfectly okay. I should have prefaced that, but perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely unharmed.
Yeah. Which is so amazing. It was such an amazing. No wonder this shit got awards. Like, it was so good. I remember I was watching this at the edge of my seat the whole time. I was like, ah! It was so amazing to watch. And then how did they top this season off with this fucking episode? Like, just this
weird episode. I feel like you should have done this as 11 and then should have done Birth of Evil as the last two episodes.
This fucking Pink Panther-esque episode. Like,
Colton, do you know what's on the Pink Panther's to-do list?
To
do
Oh, that you know what? I've told some shit jokes in my day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, that's in a Razzies of jokes. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like,
an award for the worst possible one.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah,
that's a strong contender. I love it though.
I'll take that. Episode 13, Jack in the Labyrinth. Jack finds you know what? I don't think there's any reason to use this term ever. I feel like we could just say trapped. But Jack finds a booby-trapped labyrinth. The center of which...
It's like, it's supposed to be a very specific kind of trap. You know, like...
What do you mean?
It's
a trap for an idiot?
Yes! Exactly.
a trap for an idiot.
Yeah,
it's just a trap.
Like cartoonish traps. You know what I mean? Like
the old pendulum and the arrows shooting out of the wall.
Yeah.
Pitfall.
Exactly.
In the center of the labyrinth is a diamond which could send him back to his own time. However, a mysterious stranger who has also entered the maze could put Jack's plans in jeopardy. And that is all that they have for that episode.
Yeah, it's just like, it's another Jack and the Blade episode. You know, it's just like, it's one of those. It's one of those weird ones that end off the season. They don't like to end it on those super huge climactic notes. You know?
No.
So
yeah, like Jack's shoes from last
exactly
last season.
You know, it's in Aku's fairy tales. Like, it's just it's weird. I don't know. This definitely should have been 11. You know,
100%. I agree with you there.
I guess you know what it is. I guess it's like the ginger after sushi. You know, it's the palate.
Yeah, right.
You know.
You know what I imagine? They accidentally sent in Birth of Evil instead of this. And they're like, guys, this is amazing. We have to send it into the Emmys. They're like, yeah, sure, go ahead. It's like we have more after this. You guys have more? And then it's this garbage.
I mean, it's a Samurai Jack episode. You know what I mean? It's just...
It was pretty Samurai Whack, baby. It was pretty Samurai Whack.
This shaggy looking, like this Shaggy from Scooby Doo looking robber, like this smooth talking robber. That's the only other character in the show. Like,
wait a minute.
Oh yeah, we got some shit to do. We got some housekeeping stuff to do.
No, hold on. I'm still on Samurai Jack. Actually, holy shit! If you can imagine, is this the guy who breaks into the same thing with the briefcase?
Yes.
And he's got the the duster and the fedora. I love this episode. I totally forgot. I didn't even put two and two together. I love this episode because Jack's doing all of his ninja stuff, and there was one sequence that stuck with me like a lot, which was there was like lasers or something.
Yeah.
And Jack like did the ninja thing where he jumped into the wall and like spread himself out and used it to kind of inch himself along. And there's this motherfucker dressed like Humphrey Bogart and got a briefcase, and I didn't know what he was going to do. So he leaps up into the ceiling, and he latches himself on and kind of like bunches himself up and latches on to the briefcase, which then grows these like spiked wheels that stick into the ceiling and then just like buggy him along the top. I thought that shit was so cool when I was a child. I was like, this is so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. You know what? I'll say I haven't watched Birth of Evil in a while, and this is strange to end the series with, but end the season with. But I do remember liking that episode a lot.
No, it was a great episode. You know, it's just not a season ender. You know what I mean?
No, no.
Doesn't take away from the fact that it was a great episode.
But it is a podcast ender because that is the end of season 3 of Samurai Jack.
We do have some housekeeping things we have to take care of, though.
Yes, there's some things to talk about.
Yes, I do have one thing I want to get out of the way first before I forget, because I know I'm going to. I just want to give a shout out to my friends at the Panda Express on 51st Street. So I'm not going to give you the Cross Avenue for that, but they are fans of the podcast. So I walked in.
That is wild.
I know, right? I walked in with my DBZ hat, and they're like, "Oh my god, I love DBZ," and we were just talking about it, and I told them about the podcast, and they're like, "Holy shit! Like, this is awesome. We gotta show this to everybody." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, man! Can I just get my chicken though?" But no, it was good. I'm just joking.
No, we can't get too big. We can't get too big for our britches.
No.
We have very tiny britches.
No,
but yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Love you guys.
That's awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, please, if you ever run into us in the real world, let us know.
Yeah, please.
Like our stuff.
Absolutely.
All right.
We got another thing to do. We got another thing to talk about the DBZ final episode.
Mm-hmm.
So
that is correct.
Yeah, that hasn't been recorded.
Would you like to take this away, or shall I?
I'd like you to take it away because it was your idea, so you get the credit for this shit.
Thank you. So I was thinking that as the DB's evenings are a lot of fun and have garnered us a lot of attention, I figured why not basically throw out the spirit bomb hands to the audience for the final DB's evening to allow us to gain some energy by we're going to live stream it on our Twitch channel. We're going to live stream the recording of it, and as a result, if you tune into the stream when we drop it, we're going to be doing a Q&A after the series is over, after Colton and I have recorded our final touches for the podcast, and then we might cut and the final flash. We might either cut and put our Q&A out as a separate recording, or we might just tack it on to the end of the podcast. Who very much knows? But if you'd like to come by and have any questions about DBZ, any of our thoughts on DBZ, if you have any general questions for us or about the podcast, we'd love to have you coming on by to celebrate this special moment with us. So please do come through.
Hell yeah. I am so excited for that. That was a great idea. Like I'm so excited because DBZ is one of my passions, man. You know, I just thanks Conduit, by the way, for tweeting me that image. It's like, nobody knows I have an encyclopedic knowledge on Dragon Ball Z. It's just like, yes, we do. It's all you fucking talk about.
Literally read out loud in the group chat. That was so good.
I was so mad, but I'm like, I can't be mad because it's true. But thank you for taking this journey. Thank you for like coming with me on this journey. Like, you're the only person I would have wanted to take this journey with, and like, man, like, that's a heavy hitter, man. It's a heavy hitter podcast. You know what I think we should do afterward? Instead of another Dragon Ball series, what we should do is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I can't tell you how many books full of agreement I have for you.
Let's do it. Oh God, I would love to do that shit, man.
Yeah, that's nice and light. It's definitely not the same amount of episodes as DBZ or as
nice and
Samurai Jack will be.
That's one of the previous
Not in
shows on
content.
TV.
Not in content. Not in content.
Are
I
you
meant in
kidding
amount
me?
of episodes.
Oh, an amount of
I
episodes.
meant in amount of episodes.
There's definitely not 273 episodes of Avatar.
I was like, oh, okay.
I was like, this is what some of the
Yeah,
most
I was like,
dense
there's not
shit
that
I've
many.
ever seen in my life. Oh,
Well,
man.
yes, we got that coming up. Next time we talk about Samurai Jack, we'll be talking about season 4, which is the last one that was recorded by Cartoon Network, and then we're going to get into the Adult Swim season in season 5. So please keep a lookout for all of your great podcasts, but please keep a special lookout for the Tryforce podcast.
Of course.
Please.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And you know what? I'm gonna borrow a Rainism because they weren't here today. Tune in next week where we talk about
There we go.
something else.
Something else!
Oh, baby! Watch out!